This week's scenario is Incursion from the 2014 Steamroller packet. It does not consist of kill box and consists of 3 flags, one central flag which can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 1 CP, and 2 outer flags that can be controlled for 1 CP and dominated for 2 CPs. However, at the end of the second player's first turn, you roll to determine which of the 2 outer flags will disappear, leaving you only 2 flags to score in the scenario. Greetings everybody, Taodark here. This week I'm going to be facing against Bradigus, a list that I'm still, to this day, trying to figure a good troll matchup for. I'm gonna, this game, try the traditional Meat Mountain list. There are certain elements to it, like the Chronicler effect on champions with a reach beast to deal with some of that armor 21 that's just spread out all over the place. But it's, again, I'm still trying to find a list. I'm not necessarily sure if Meat Mountain is the one, but let's see how it turns out.
So I got a standard Bradigus list here. Taodark asked me if I wanted to paint something up real quick and put this list together so you can get it on camera. I painted all these models, well, most of these models, in about 3 hours one night. They're not completely done, but they're good enough for play here. This list is proving to be a bear. It's very difficult to play. The positioning is hard to do during the game. It eats up a lot of clock, but when it starts running right, it's just murderous because it has threats everywhere.
So for troll deployment, Incursion's not necessarily a scenario I'm too terribly fond of, especially with the Meat Mountain specifically. Just because, though it's better than last year's by the fact that the central objective doesn't disappear, it really can sway how you play. If you go central based, you're playing a gambit where you're giving your opponent the opportunity to know exactly where you're going to go and where you place. But it does give the ability to, in turn, flank left or right, depending upon which flag disappears. However, if you could turn around and gamble and you deploy too heavily on one side in hopes of that flag sticking around, then you run into a scenario where you're out of position and you can quickly lose on scenarios. So I go for a central deployment. The list is relatively symmetrical, so it's easy to split down the middle. So that's what I went with.
Now looking across the table, there's a big mountain of meat over there. I just set up my guys right in front. I've only got 3 models that don't have AD. I'm going to try to set up my AD stuff so that it has that forest on my right as an anchor to so I can play with less, having to sacrifice less of my mannequins to make a big solid wall of forest across the board. Incursion is a bad scenario for me, I think. I just have to hope that my opponent picks the wrong flag. I'm going to go dead center, and then I'll just slide towards the flag that stays. It's easier to slide toward my left as there's no difficult ground. By slide, I mean slide with my feet. I think I can win this by scenario, but it's probably going to be a non-scenario. Now I'm doing my redeploy. I was just joking there. I did my redeploy from my tier bonus, but I think I'd redeployed one guy too many. I really wasn't meaning to redeploy him. I was just kidding around with my opponent. Okay, here goes. This is a mess. I forgot to put my Fury out from my Sentry Stones, but they start with 3 from the tier bonus. I'll just move my little dudes up in position. He doesn't have a lot of shooting in that Meat Mountain over there, so I debate whether or not I need to even make any forest on the first turn. I forgot to move the Sentry Stones forward when I moved my little dudes. So my opponent allows me to move them forward. Didn't really affect anything. The 2 watchers that are there could get around that no matter what. I'm just running the Watchers up forward to get, in case they need to shield guard against something. I'm not sure what they need to shield guard against. But I'm going to try to set up where I keep that forest on my right as an anchor, and the wall on my left is kind of like a blocking, the wall to the center left, I guess, as a blocking point to maybe make his non-reach models have trouble getting to my guys. He has enough reach models, and it's not going to matter really. The clock is speeded up, or the camera time is. We're playing, with a fast camera, but the clock is ticking and ticking and ticking, and I'm still moving models, even though I don't have a lot of models to move. The placement is very important. These stones have to be set up so that they don't interfere with my feed. If I choose to feed, I'm not going to be feeding. I don't plan on feeding next turn. I'll feed the turn after to slide into the stones into the flag that stays if I have to. What I'm thinking now is if he gets crazy aggressive, this list can reach out and touch you from a long ways away. And if his caster moves up even a little bit too far, I want to be able to set up a double teleport with Bradigus to maybe jump him when he's not looking. But I cast Synergy and Mystic Wards. The red represents Mystic Wards, and the black represents Synergy. And the green tokens down there are my Fury. And the blue tokens down there are the Fury for the Sentry Stones.
Troll's turn 1. So, Fort has pushed up the table and, for the most part, has shifted pretty hard to the left. It probably has to do with that force that's on his right-hand side. Not that he's too terribly worried about the force, but unless he triggers battle-driven, that's a flank that I can't necessarily push through, so that force almost develops into a blocking element for him. Advancing forward, I'm gauging, or I'm guessing, I'm hoping that the objective to the bottom of the screen on my right is the one that's going to fall away, because I'd really like to abuse that wall that is just in front of my rightmost warder unit. Having the increased defense kind of takes the fertilizer shot assassination off of the table for the Bradigus list, because it's an assassination that a lot of people don't expect to see coming. When he pops feet, he'll just shove everything forward, everything gets an aim bonus, and then everything just starts shooting your caster until it's dead. And because I like to dump everything into the stone on the first turn, and then put up dash, it's a scenario where I'm basically going to use that wall and hope that I just don't get shot off the table at the top of 2. My warders are running up. Both units are actually going to run up. I've got the purple flagged ones running up now, and then I've got the purple flags are my champions. The orange ones ran up into the woods up at the top. The champions are kind of forming a wall of medium bases, and then the other unit will run, keeping that symmetrical deployment that I was doing earlier. But what I'm hoping is that no matter which flag disappears, one of my warder units will be able to insert themselves between the middle flag and the far flag in order to jam his constructs from the far flag, and then I can start making a play for this scenario. Because I really think that's how I'm going to win this game. I mean, unless I luck into an assassination that he presents me, I just have a hard time believing that he's going to allow me to apply Mulg to a caster that just is sitting behind a giant rock wall with 3 teleport capabilities to him. And then just advancing up the stone. Ideally, I need to leave Mulg within 4 inches of Grissel at any given time during this game, because I'm going to rely on Protective Fit to keep the teleport assassination off the table.
Well, here we go. We forgot to roll for the flags. So I picked up my Fury. The stones are great for managing the Fury with this list. The only problem is you got to get them close enough that they're vulnerable to fire from the enemy. But this list over here doesn't have enough fire to really get putting pressure or threat to the stones because of all the shield guards. Measure my control area. think I might be able to take a heavy off the table, but I decide it's not worth the gamble. So I start moving my mannequins up to give me a wall to move behind in the center of the board, wall of forest, that is. And we remember now that the flags haven't been deleted. Unfortunately, it's after I've already moved my mannequins and blown them up to make forest, and of course, the one to the left goes away. That I really should have, if it had been rolled for beforehand, my whole army would have done a diagonal shift towards the right side to my right side of the table, toward the top of the table. Now I'm kind of stuck with it. I don't feel like backing up the turn and doing anything. Kevin offers, but I say no. I think I can handle it here. In his turn, he's got a couple of options. He can go to the right, to his left, to the top of the map, and get on that flag and make it very difficult for me to get him off of that flag, and he might be able to pull a scenario victory out. So what I've got to do is set myself up to intercept his caster along the way if he acts like he's going to try for something like that, and to contest and set myself up to contest and control this center flag, and for a next turn, if we go to a next turn, for him at least, attack on that top flag with my army, because I'm very much out of position now. Move my little guys up to hide behind the forest so he can't get any charges off. Stone form them all up, put the animi up. Mulg will strip the animi if he comes up there, he can. But these little guys are very resilient with 21 armor, 24 hit points. They're auto hit in melee, but without getting a charge die, the extra charge die, not much can put much damage on them. Mulg can take out one, maybe two if he's cranked way up. But it's not easy, and he would be sacrificing a heavy for one light beast, maybe two if he gets really lucky. And I'll take that trade because his infantry, while he has a lot of weapon masters over there, without the charge bonus, they tend to just nickel and dime the Watchers, while the Watchers can either toss them around into each other, making their orders of activation and their sacrifices to stand, not being able to attack because they're out of range when they stand up. A big problem for these medium-based infantry armies. And of course, you know, if these wolves happen to kill one of them, they turn them into a forest. And once I get high on the synergy chain, the Guardians can go in and really do some dirt. Even the Watchers with a 4 or 5 on the synergy chain can kill his guys, even with the high armor that they tend to have. Let's see what he does.
Turn 2. So unfortunately, the flag that I really wanted to stick around has disappeared, the bottom flag. Not a huge issue. I'll just shift my army during this turn. Since I can't charge anything, he's laid down force, which is probably one of the most irritating things about this list for trolls. I have a bunch of weapons masters, and none of them can charge. And charging or not charging weapons masters are very sad weapons masters. So I'm going to have to shift. I'm going to probably continue with my original plan from turn 1, which is use my left warder unit as a jamming contesting unit for the far flag. I don't want to give him the opportunity where he double teleports Bradigus over to the flag and then starts this scenario piece where he's going to just start ranking up control points, and I can't do anything about it because he feats and shifts his army over to the right hand side, blocking me out, and then he'll just win out on scenario. Other issues that I have to deal with is I have to make sure that I'm protecting myself from the double teleporting or triple teleporting, if the case might be, for him to assassinate E-Grissel, and just I'm really struggling as to how I'm going to deal with all the armor 21 that I can't charge. If I had ability to charge, then maybe. Here I'm just measuring out to see if it's possible that I'm actually going to be able to get any control points if I can jam him out. Unfortunately, a member of my unit is not within range. So even if I jam him out, he'll be able to just clear and prevent me from actually contest and prevent me from actually scoring. So I advance Mulg over because I'm using Mulg defensively. He's going to kind of stick where Grissel's going to be at, so that way she's going to be in the woods. She'll be protected from, or she'll have increased defense, I should say, from a little mini earthquake there. She'll have increased defense from being shot at fertilizer cannon. So I'm advancing the stone over, and this is just, I'm prepping to get into a situation. Now here is a flaw in my tactic. I've now created a wall of Krielstone bearers between Mulg and where I want to put Grissel at. That's not good. Like, just watching this video again, just kicking myself for doing that. Mulg needs to be near Grissel. Without Mulg being near Grissel, and without me threatening with protective feet to hit anything that comes after Grissel with POW 19s, I'm opening myself up. There's less retribution that I can provide my opponent now that Mulg can't get anywhere near her. Now he's in the woods, so he would have been slowed down, but it was a situation where if Mulg is near, then he can protect a fit, and Bradigus may not necessarily want to come up and deal with that, or send up one of his salt and pepper shakers, as we like to call them, the big wolds, to deal with it. So kind of seeing my error, I line up at least a wall of champions in front. I'm not too terribly thrilled about losing champions to a charge, but it's better than losing the caster. So at least I've got a wall of medium bases that he's going to have to chew through in order to get to her. And then I just go ahead and go with it, trying to engage as much as I possibly can so that he can't unengage and go after Grissel. We'll have to see how it turns out. I'm just not deploying Mulg properly is really going to hurt me.
Well, he did run to the top flag up there, but he couldn't get out the whole unit within the 4 inches, so he doesn't control it. I am going to be pressed for time here, so it looks like to me that I can get off an assassination. It might be a little risky. I might have to think about it. He's got a whole mountain of miserable troll meat right in front of my army, but with defense 12 all around, it's not hard to get a synergy chain going. I throw these guys around, don't have to worry about cracking their armor, and knocking them down. They can't really retaliate, even if I don't finish them off this turn, or decide not to go for the assassination. If I decide to go for the assassination, there won't be another turn for me. Mulg will be he'll probably move Mulg around, so that if I don't kill this caster, then my caster's just going to die. So I start off by taking a Sentry Stone over to pull one of his Transfer Fury off, and one off the Krielstone and one off Mulg. The one less transfer for him may give him problems, I hope. I think he's down to one transfer. But I can get my synergy chain up to 6, and I should easily be able to do that. I kind of boxed myself in with the shifting stones. My guardians are boxed in, so they're not likely to have any targets. They're not going to be able to do anything. So I'm just going to have the 6 watchers go in and punch and throw his guys around. Got 3 Fury on my Sentry Stone, so I'm going to spray into his Krielstone there and hope to get a few of those guys. I'm not going to worry about the front guy because he's too high armor to hurt. But with the Sentry Stones, their armor's low enough that a POW 11 spray can kill them without boosting. I have to use all 3 of those to boost on all 3 of my Fury on the Sentry Stone to boost that Mannikin spray on the 3 Kriel guys that I have back there in the spray. There goes boost 1, hit, boost 2, hit, and boost 3. Hit. So I got them all. Now I have to roll, I think, a 5 to kill them. 1, 2, 3. So I got all 3. He's making his tough rolls. Actually, I didn't get the front guy. The front guy survived. He made 1 tough roll and then sack, or he made no tough rolls, and he did the sack pawn or take up or whatever it is that the Kriel bearer has. Now I'm asking what's the range on the armor bonus. Gets most of his guys that are up here. Doesn't get the guys on my left, so I should be able to kill them. I'm gonna go for them last. This guy has a charge to get next to that flag to contest it, so he doesn't score next turn without committing something heavy to kill that little dude. I hit and hit again. It's not enough to kill the guy. He's within the Krielstone, and I just don't hit hard enough without a synergy chain up to take those guys down. I think I did 6 damage to him total. Now we're going to start the toss the dwarf or troll, I guess, as the case may be. Toss the dwarf fest. Get the last Sentry Stone out of the way. Has really nothing it can do, and since I'm going to go for the assassination, I'm not going to worry about any of the other models doing anything. The mannequins are out of position. Their sprays can't hurt anything that they're facing right now. So I'm going to do a power attack throw with that guy back there by the Sentry Stone. Let's see. I hit. I win the strength test. And now I got to throw him at his buddy with my mighty mat of 6 from the synergy chain. I miss. Deviation. Puts it just a little to the side. Can't deviate very far. Deviates an inch. So it's going to go hit the guy. Knocks them both down. My opponent's not sure how that works, so I have to explain to them using my reach marker and the deep drift template to show them what it does. Essentially, you drift from the desired point of impact, and it ends up hitting both of them. Doesn't do much damage to them, but it knocks them down. They're not going to be able to retaliate on his turn. They just stand up, and they can either stand up and attack or stand up and move. They can't do both. And as they don't have anything within their melee range, they won't be able to attack. Unless I move something up like that into one of them's melee range. We'll throw the next guy. What I'm trying to do right now is clear the center of that out so that I can get a stone, so I can teleport a stone into there and shift, so I can double teleport Bradigus far enough that I can reach his caster on that line. If I can hit the bottommost or my leftmost spot behind that line of warders that are in front of his caster, I think I can get Bradigus on him. It's going to be close. I measured it a couple times, and it looks like it'll make it. I'll know better once I shift Bradigus up into the set of stones. There's a forest right there, but it's not going to matter. Can't get the thing in there, so I'm putting the animi up on my guys that can. Not many of them are going to get stone form because of the power attacks and the boosting damage thing. I only boost damage on 2 guys, so I'm going to have 2 guys that are kind of toward the back of the line that are going to have no stone form, so they're going to be armor 17. I shift that stone and then change my mind, and my opponent doesn't have any problem with this. I'll put it back where it was. I need to clear a little bit more space out, I think, and move them and have a stone over in another spot. Finish up cranking up the synergy chain, throwing guys around. Tossing guys is fun, but it sure takes a lot of time off your clock. I don't like the idea of tossing guys with reach, but it's really fun tossing guys without reach because they just can't retaliate. Next turn they get thrown again, and sooner or later they run out of guys because you're slowly doing 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 damage to them every time you toss them. Looks like there's a spot for Bradigus that he can fit in there as far as, and I'm going to teleport the stones as far forward as I can and keeping them in command so that that set that gets teleported can teleport Bradigus again. So here we go. Going to go in there with the opposite set of stones, and it's within command. Bradigus has a place to land. My synergy is at 6. That's as high as it's going to get because the Guardians are locked in. So now I just got to go for it. Bradigus control area puts him out there. Just doing a little bit of guess math, guess distance. I'm almost 100% certain he can reach his caster. I needed to throw one of those trolls a little bit further away, and I definitely would have been able to get to his caster, but it just was not to be. Here we go. Bradigus boink to there. He fits in there, even though it looks like a model got pushed. You'll see when the model gets picked up, there's plenty of room. I hit it with my finger. Or that stupid cloak is what it is. His cloak points out in all directions really far. He's just a really pain in the butt model to move. You can see now that 8 inches puts him way well past that line and into the back of Grissel. I've got 5 Fury on me because I had to upkeep Mystic or Synergy. So that's going to translate into 6 attacks. With 6 attacks, and him only having 1 transfer after the Sentry Stone, I should be able to do him in. I'm effectively mat 12 and power strength 19. He has the Krielstone giving him +2 armor, so it's not a sure thing, but it's about as close to a sure thing as I can get. It's never a sure thing when you're attacking troll casters with that stupid tough symbol on their card. Hit him. He's down to having to transfer now. And I've got 3 or 4 Fury left. I believe I have 4 left. I should be 3 or 4. I miscounted there watching the video. He's going to move Mulg around. Mulg's not going to be able to affect this fight, but if his caster lives, Mulg will be able to affect his retaliation, and I won't be long for the world with a 14-16 defense armor stat line. Got him again. He had to transfer this one. He has no transfers left. Now he's on tough rolls. He's marking the transfers. We've got 2 attacks left after this, so he's got to make 2 tough rolls. I guess I could always roll Snake Eyes and miss. I'm going to use my little beatback ability just because Mulg scare me. He can't get to me because of those guys in his way, but still, I don't like it. So I hit him. He's it wasn't enough to kill him. I rolled really badly on the damage roll. Do the beatback thing again. Got 2 attacks left. Hit. Tough roll. He didn't make it. That was it. So I had 1 attack left after that. So this is as close as it gets. See you next week.